Hi there, crafty friends. These are altered playing cards with a double vellum pocket. I made these with a Christmas theme and I included them in the Advent calendar giveaway that I had on my channel in November. These are great to add in your junk journal and to hold little ephemera and even a journal card. I'm using standard playing cards, and then for the background I'm going to use napkins. You could also use patterned tissue paper if you don't have napkins. And of course, you don't have to make it a Christmas theme. You could make it any theme you like. I'm just going with a Christmas feel. We only need the very top layer of the napkin where it is very fine and almost transparent. And to assist you in getting the layers apart if there's more than one and if it's really sticky, is to put a piece of sticky tape onto the back part of the napkin, and as you lift the sellotape off, it adheres to the layer and helps you to remove it. I'm using Mod Podge to glue the entire face of the playing card with the napkin. You could also use gel medium, a glue stick, or even just craft glue. I also apply a layer of Mod Podge over the napkin once I have stuck it down. This is to protect it and strengthen it a bit, as I may be doing some painting over it or adding and gluing things, and just to reinforce the tissue a little bit because it can be really fine and can tear. Once it's dry, we're going to trim off the excess napkin with the scissors. I just turn the card upside down so I can just see where I'm cutting, and I cut carefully around the edges. Once you have trimmed it, you can just check the edges and corners to make sure that everything has adhered well. Add additional glue if needed. I'm going to add some gesso over the napkin because I don't want the color to be so bright and definite. So I'm using a piece of cardboard and I'm just scraping the gesso on very roughly over the entire face and leaving some darker areas and then scraping it off in some other areas. So it's left a very washed out type of look, which is what I'm looking for. I don't want just the bold picture. You could, of course, leave the napkin as is and just have the bright color, but I want mine to tone down a little bit. I'm also using a little bit of water with a paintbrush just to soften some of the lines of the gesso. You can see it's sort of left a washed out effect, which is what I really like. To get that look, I added water and then dabbed it with a tissue over the wet area to lift some of the gesso off, but it still left a bit of a milky white over the picture part. For those of you who are not new to my channel, you'll know my challenges I have with my white acrylic pen that doesn't seem to work well all of the time. Anyway, I'm using it again. I'm a sucker for punishment, and I am just doing an edging with the white around the red background card. Very roughly, I don't want it to look neat. I want it to look hand-drawn and sketchy. And then with a red acrylic marker, I'm going to do a red frame around the other card. This pen works much better. I'm going to add a double vellum pocket on each little card. I'm going to do the pockets at an angle so that the one at the back is slightly higher than the one at the front, and I'm not cutting it straight across. I'm just using offcuts of vellum at this point in time. You don't need full sheets, just whatever you have. And I'm just placing it over with the crisscross, and then I'm going to use my sewing machine to stitch all the way around. There you can see where I've done the stitching. I've gone all the way around the card, and then I've just done a simple running stitch, which then secures the vellum to the card. I've left the vellum pieces bigger on purpose as it assists in sewing. If you cut it beforehand exactly around the card, it could slip under the machine and not be aligned, and that is extremely frustrating. So just use bigger pieces, sew what you need to sew, and then just trim off the excess. Much easier. I'm leaving the stitching threads long. I like them to hang off. It adds a bit of character to the card. Now we're going to fill the pockets. I'm adding 2 ephemera tickets, a red and a green that coordinate well with the color, and a gold glitter tag. The tag that I have is a little too big. Although it fits in the pocket, it hides the whole background, which I don't really like, so I'm going to trim it down a little smaller but still keep its shape. I'm trying also a red foil, but I do just like the gold glitter, so I'll do the same for both. To trim it and keep its shape, I'm just cutting off the bottom and a little bit on each side of the card, and that still keeps the tag shape, but it just becomes smaller. I'm measuring just so I can have both sides the same and the bottom even. And that, I think, is perfect. Fits very nicely. Still you can see it's a tag, but allows you to see the background, which then finishes it off really well. I use the first card as a template to cut the second one so that they are exactly the same size. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you see more of my videos. Click on the little notification bell so that you can get notified every time I load new content. Thanks for watching. Bye.